Hello everyone, and welcome back to Stories with me, Jesse. Today we're once again looking at the accounts of people who have the pleasure of providing troubleshooting assistance for some ignorant people over at Reddit/talesfromtechsupport. Let me know what you think of these stories in the comments, as well as any suggestions you might have that we may just use in a future installment. This episode may be monitored to ensure viewer satisfaction. We're getting started now. Our first story is titled, "Your IT, so you do it. I'm just gonna quit instead, how's that?" Background: I owned a small software company. The nonprofit organization down the hall asked us if we would donate an hour once a week to help with IT, Active Directory and Exchange stuff. The manager there was a friend of mine from outside work. I agreed since it felt like a nice pro bono thing to do for a cause I supported, and she promised to be a gatekeeper. And for a long time, it worked out quite well. Once a week, one of us would walk down the hall to their suite. She'd give us a small list of IT honeydews. We'd even get cookies. She did a great job of keeping users under control and appreciated our donation of time and expertise. It was good karma. Then she left the organization. Stupidly, I thought nothing would change. So I go down there a couple weeks later for the usual IT and cookies. "Karen is moving offices and needs help moving her computer." "Damn it, Jim, I'm a software developer, not a moving company," goes through my head. Nevertheless, I help unplug everything from her standard desktop-sized workstation. "I'm going to need your help carrying everything to your new office." I explain that I'm recovering from surgery and simply cannot carry heavy objects. She's miffed, but helps me get a cart and we move the computer. This is back in the days of heavy, large CRT 19-inch monitors, the ones that weigh close to 50 pounds. There's already an identical monitor, same brand, same size, in the new location. "What about the monitor?" she says. "I've plugged the computer into the monitor that's already in your new office. It's identical." "But I want my monitor!" She points at the old one. Like I said, I can't carry heavy items. It's easier if you just move all your Post-it notes from your old monitor to your new one. "That's not my job," she says. "That's your job. Move the monitor." And that was the it I quit moment. I just lost it. "Karen, this is very decidedly not my job. I volunteer my time here. I already told you I'm recovering from surgery, and I'm not moving a 50-pound monitor for the same reason you won't. It's too heavy. You're on your own." I walk out, super pissed. The following morning, I go in again to talk to the executive director. I explain that we can't help with IT anymore. We have to focus on our business and would not be donating any more time. I offer to send one of my colleagues down just to finish hooking up Karen's computer, but he would not be moving any heavy objects, and I'd be happy to recommend an IT consulting company for ongoing support. Of course, they have no choice, so that's what happens. Best part, when my coworker comes back from the last task, he tells me, "Guess what?" I oblige. "What?" "She moved the monitor." I can't believe it. Apparently, she figured out a way to haul that 50-pound monstrosity of a monitor to her new desk. "What happened to the monitor that was already there?" I ask. "It's still there. She asked me to move it to the old office." Now, these old CRT monitors are huge. There's barely enough room on a standard office cube desk for one of them, let alone two. "Tell me you didn't move it," I plead. "No f***ing way," he says. "She barely has enough room now on that tiny desk for her Beanie Babies and telephone." I still get goosebumps at the thought of Karen sitting there with two ginormous monitors on her desk, surrounded by her Post-it notes and stuffed animals. So yeah, I have a pretty good appreciation for the folks who have to deal with this stuff on a regular basis. That's pretty messed up that this Karen couldn't even understand this guy was a volunteer, or to even empathize with his recent surgery. To lash out because she didn't want to use the perfectly good monitor that was waiting for her in her new office was pretty childish, but it's a pretty satisfying image to think about her having to deal with it all on her own. Moving on, our next story is called, "Can't You Just Tell Me My Password?" I'm not tech support, but I maintain a small website for my company. To view some of the content on the website, you need to be logged in. Today I got a message from Karen in marketing. "Can you give me the credentials for the website? I need to log in." If you forgot your password, you can reset it at this link. Sends link to password reset page. "Can't you just tell me the password?" No, I don't know your password." "Dawn, who used to run the site before you, would tell me." Record scratch. Yeah, well, about that. Dawn, the third-party contractor, was an incompetent and stored the passwords in plain text. I have no doubt that he would tell Karen her password if she asked, because there was no other password recovery system. Don had somehow managed to get paid several $1,000s for designing a website full of bugs and broken links, with a design that seemed straight from the 90s. I know that in web design companies often get what they pay for, but in this case my company had set a reasonable budget for a small project and hired a local web design company. It's not like they were paying $50 to someone on Fiverr. Unfortunately, the marketing department had commissioned the website, and they're not very tech savvy. Somehow Don convinced them that all the issues were due to technical limitations and low time and budget for the project, and delivered them a website that was pretty much unusable. My boss eventually stepped in, got rid of Don, and I was tasked with fixing the website, which meant pretty much remaking it from scratch. So I deleted the database and the website, remade the website so it looked like an actual thing on the internet from the year 2020, added a password recovery system and all that jazz, and now I have Karen complaining to me because our database is no longer a security liability. Awesome. I walked her through the arcane process of resetting her password. Enter your email, check your mailbox, click the link on the password reset email, and at the end she's like,
"Well, I don't know. This all seems very complicated. Can't you put it back like it used to be?"
Worst part? You might imagine Karen as an older lady who struggles with technology, but nope, she's a millennial like me. I'm very tired and it's just Tuesday. I get that some people don't want to hear a sound explanation behind why you have to do something simple yourself, but I feel bad for this guy not only having to rebuild an entire website, but also having to explain that the system wasn't safe before. This lady only cared about how she never had to remember her password previously, but at least the guy was able to send her a link and help her get through it. Our next story is titled, After Hours Retirement Community Residence. Long ago, at my first job as a consultant, one of our clients was a retirement community, with everything from senior apartments to end-of-life care. When a resident requested internet, we would show up to make the room live for internet access. This was basically hooking up a cable in the switch room to make the resident's room live, go into the resident's room and make sure the computer is connected. It's a 15-minute job. I get the ticket and make my way over to the site. I was about 19 at the time, loved helping the older folks at the site, as I never really had grandparents of my own. I go to the site, make the connection in the switch room, and wander over to the resident's apartment, where I'm greeted by a husband and wife in their late 60s to early 70s. "Hi, I've gotten everything set up on the back end. Now I need to come in and make the port you want live inside your apartment and test that everything is up and running."
"Absolutely. Come on in."
In the room, there is a panel I had to take off to make the Ethernet port live in the room the computer is in. I ask the husband where the computer is located. He shows me the room the computer is in. I then make my way over to the panel to make the port live. As I'm doing my thing, he asks, "How long have you been doing this?" I'm still in school, but was lucky enough to get a job with this consulting company as well. "On-the-job training, like it should be." He smiles. "Yes, sir." "Okay, you are good here. Let's go look at your computer." I sit down and all looks good. We chat for a few moments about my schooling, along with the wife and husband's quite active lives. They were also bribing me with snacks. Being the college kid, I happily sat and listened for a bit. As I got ready to head out, they asked me,
"Could you help out with some odd-ended computer things?"
They wanted Thunderbird set up and a few other things that I don't remember anymore. We are not contracted to provide these types of services, unless asked by the retirement community. I tell you what, I'll stop by after my workday's done. Would that work for you?
"Well, don't eat before you get here. You will get a meal out of it for your trouble."
After I get done with my day, I drive back over to the retirement community. When I get to the resident's apartment, they both greet me and I sit down and set up everything that they wanted me to get set up. As I munch on home-cooked food, I get done, sit and chat for a bit. As I get ready to head out, the husband tries to hand me money. No, you paid me in food. That's all I need." "No, you're a college kid. I have grandkids your age. Take it." As he stuffs it into my backpack, I thanked him and gave him a handshake. "Do you want to adopt another grandkid?"
"We would love that."
So I got a free meal, $40, and got to meet some awesome people. Isn't that sweet? That nice older couple seemed to be very grateful for your help and even offered you a warm meal to boot. I think that it was very kind of you to go back and offer extra help, all with kindness and a smile, and it probably made their day. Anyways, that's all the time we have for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you once again for tuning in with me, Jesse. What did you think of these stories? Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content, and check out what other stories I have for you. Sometimes it's less about doing the job and more about being a good person. I hope that all of you have a beautiful day and that you have a chance to be kind to someone. I'll catch you in the next one.